Whether it's Beyond Beef or from the cow, I love a good hamburger. That's why I'll fire up the grill, or I'll go to one of my favorite kosher restaurants and I'll order one. But did you know it wasn't always that easy? For our ancestors in the desert, when they wanted to eat meat, the only time they could was if they offered a sacrifice. In that way, their meat consumption of taking the life of an animal was dedicated to God. They would share a meal with the divine, and they would be able to express thanks for that which they had. But it wasn't going to work out so well once they got into the land of Israel, because there could be only one place, the Torah tells us in this week's Parsha of Re'eh, where we could offer those sacrifices, and that would be the temple in Jerusalem. The Torah immediately understands the practical question of, well, what if I don't live near the temple? What if I can't come to that one central place where the Jews gather for worship? Does that mean I can't eat meat? You can, says the Torah, but there are some caveats. The way that we treat the meat for sacrifices, that will be the way that we treat the meat that we can eat, with intention, with sanctity, and with holiness. So first, it has to come from a kosher animal, just like the sacrifices. Second, if you're going to be eating the meat, you have to slaughter it in the kosher ritual way. And third, you have to remove the blood. That is its life force, and that part belongs to God. Those rules of thousands of years ago in the Torah are the same rules that we apply for eating kosher meat today. This week, and in the coming weeks, we will feel that same tension that the Torah describes, because we are reopening the synagogue. And so we have that one central location once again that we haven't had these last months, where the Jews can come and gather to worship. But for reasons that are our own, we might not be able to come and pray together and worship there in our synagogue. And so, what do? If we don't feel comfortable, or we're in a high-risk category, or you're one of our friends who live in Florida and you just are too far away, does that mean that you can't be a part of our Jewish community? Absolutely not. Just like the lessons that we learned from the Torah, we can find ways to make those connections. First, we're going to continue to have our digital services. In fact, we'll be live streaming from our sanctuary, so they'll be even better because we'll have a real Torah. I'm so excited. And there are things that you can do at home. Just like we can treat the meat that we eat with the same specialness and intention as that in the temple, we can treat the way that we pray with the same holiness and sanctity and intention that we do when we're in the synagogue. For you, that might mean that you set up a special place to connect to God in your home, and that will be the place that you zoom into shul. It might mean that you put pictures of your friends and family, the people that you would be gathering with, around your computer. Or it might mean that you put a beautiful white tablecloth over all of the things on your desk so that you can have that sanctity of Shabbat. The tension of coming together as a people and being able to honor that which we need to do for ourselves is alive in the Torah and is still a relevant question for us today. We can learn from the Torah's lessons and find that which will make us able to have our meat and eat it too. Shabbat Shalom.